All right, we are back. Today we're going to talk about ice and refrigeration in the Philippines. Just give you an idea of what to expect and what it's like here. The locals don't really use this too much. A lot of them don't even have refrigerators. And if they do have a refrigerator, it's a small one. They don't have a freezer. They don't have a beast like this. The locals see this and they think you're a millionaire. Okay, so they deal with ice that comes in baggies, just like this. This costs 5 pesos down at the local Sari store. Unlimited supply. You can get as much of these as you want if you're having a party or whatever. You could deal with this. So it's about 8 cents US. The problem with these is you don't know who filled it. You don't know if their hands were cleaned. You got to wait for this to thaw a little bit. Otherwise, removing this plastic bag is a pain in the butt. So you put it in a bowl of water, you let it thaw a little bit, and then you're going to need one of these bad boys. And when you need it, you can never find it. So I keep mine stored right here, right there. That's where I keep mine stored. I don't even use it. I don't even need it. I have ice cubes, but when you need it, you can never find it. So that's where I keep it. So this guy right here is going to need a little while to thaw. You could take the bag off, or you could just beat it up right now, and the bag will mix in with your ice, and you're going to be plasticizing yourself. You're going to be ingesting a bunch of plastic or spitting it out. But that's what the locals will do. They'll chop this up using their teeth. They use their teeth for everything. Using their teeth. Okay, I'm joking. But they'll use a knife, chop their hand off. Get yourself one of these. They cost almost nothing. To chop this up and make your drinks. Ice is critical. If you're going to be drinking, if you're going to be staying cool, if you're going to be drinking water, booze, anything, ice is critical. Okay? And when you buy these, you don't know what type of water they're filled with, like I mentioned. Where I buy these, they fill it with mineral water. That's good, but I don't know if their hands are clean. And, they got to get their hands wet and dirty in order to make these, to tie the tie and all that stuff. And, I can't tell if the plastic is still intact. I don't know if there's holes in this plastic. I don't know anything about this, all right? So you can get used to it and you can deal with this if you don't want to make your own ice. But I recommend bring these with you. Put them in your luggage. If you're planning on living in the Philippines full time, put this in your luggage. Bring these with you. Don't mess with this. Okay. That way you know what water filled this up. Filled up with my mineral water right here. I know what water filled it up. I know my hands were clean when I did this. I know the ice trays are clean. Everything's above board. When they say you go to Mexico, don't have any booze with ice in it. Don't drink the ice, whatever. You're gonna be drinking with these, okay? You're gonna be drinking it, and you're gonna be out and about, and they're gonna be using this. It's unavoidable. I don't know. I'm not as paranoid as you might be in Mexico. They're pretty good about having fairly clean ice, but your stomach is gonna need to adjust to the Philippines. That's just the way it is. You're gonna be making some adjustments. But anyways, I like these ice trays. These happen to be Rubbermaid. You can get them off Amazon and have them shipped here. It seems kind of silly. You can buy these at the Clark Pure Gold Duty Free store. Otherwise, you're getting garbage ice trays out there. They don't stack. They don't do anything to help you. The ice is miserable to get out. That you twist them and they break. They're terrible. They're absolutely terrible. Get the good ones. Have them shipped to you. Get them at the duty free or put them in your luggage. It's worth it, okay? You're in the Philippines. You're going to be drinking. You're going to be trying to stay cool. You're going to be using ice. This is important. And on the subject of freezers, okay? So like I said, use this. You can use this. Ask them where they're getting their water from. If it's mineral water, that means it's filtered water. That's what you want to hear from them. But that's what you want to be doing. You don't want to be messing with that, okay? And you don't want to be ingesting all the plastics. Now, on the subject of fridge and freezer, you don't need one of these. If you're renting a place, or you don't have a family, there's the number one problem. Kill your fingers. But you don't need this. This is ridiculous. But a freezer in the Philippines is key. Just like in America, a freezer is key. You need room for your ices. And you need room for your ice's storage. And they're not designed to accommodate that. There's no ice makers here because there's no filtered water supply. So they don't even mess with ice makers, which is good. Less things to break. Okay? So out here, what you need to know on that fridge, the Samsung we just looked at, it's going to be frost free. Okay? Some fridges like this one out here, you might run into, and it is not. They may not be frost free. It's frost free is the new style fridges that came out in the 80s or whatever, that they didn't have ice buildup. Okay, they didn't have ice buildup here. The difference is you don't have the ice buildup, but also there's a fan circulating the air. Okay, so this fridge with its tiny freezer, it's going to suck if you throw ice in there. You're going to have a stack of ice right here. You're going to really limit your storage space. This is going to be too small to do any real freezing. And you can get standalone freezers here for pretty cheap, okay? But again, if you get frost free, you get no fan circulating air. And that's a problem. For adding stuff to your fridge when you go grocery shopping, you got no airflow. I don't think it cools down as fast when you open the door, yada, yada, yada. So if you're buying a fridge and you don't want this type of monstrosity, get one with as big a freezer as you can, because you got to remember that you're going to be trying to accommodate some ice trays. And you see, ice trays take up space, ice storage takes up space. So if you out there on that fridge that we just looked at, do I have space for this and do I have space for that? Yes, but I don't have space for anything else. So keep that in mind. And look, there's nothing more important than cold drinks in a hot country, okay? So you can do coolers, you can do all that stuff if you're going for a party, and that brings up another point. If you're going for a party, you can do a lot of these, and nobody will complain or whatever. You can keep the VIP ice cubes for your foreigner buddies. Okay, they're not gonna have any problem eating proper ice versus this. Okay, but if you're having a party, stock up. Stock up. Get yourself some gallon size Ziploc bags. Something like this, gallon size Ziploc bag, and throw ice. A gallon size Ziploc bag will take about the same amount of ice as in this stack right here. Throw the ice in there for a few days before you're gathering. That way you've got a stockpile. And that means you got to have a freezer big enough to have a stockpile of ice. If you've got this little fridge out here, you're not going to have enough storage for your frozen foods. So basically, you got ice storage here for drinks, you got ice cooking here in the trays, and if you're stocking up, you got one shelf or one area here. These trays are tiny. This area is tiny. You got no space to stock up. So keep that in mind if you're buying a fridge in the Philippines. Yes, you can get this for 16,000 pesos, okay, dirt cheap. This Samsung in here, not so dirt cheap. I don't remember how much it was. I think 70,000 pesos. But it's a painful Band-Aid. Just put it on there and yank it off quick, okay? But if you've got a family in the Philippines, don't cheap out. Get the beast. You'll be happy you did. And as you can see, we got stuff in this fridge like I showed you. We got stuff in that fridge out there also. So this is actually not really big enough for what we're doing. As big as this is, given the context of the Philippines where nobody's got a fridge this big, it's still not big enough. So there's your ice talk. You can get standalone chest freezers in the Philippines. They have them at all the Abençons and the hardware stores, and they're actually pretty cool because they have a built-in switch. They will do refrigeration and freezing. You just have to tell them what you want to do. Okay, so if you need more refrigeration for some time, you flip the switch and make it a refrigerator only, and so it'll adjust the temperature, it'll raise the temperature up, so it's only doing refrigeration. And then if whatever you need for the additional fridge stuff is complete, then you can switch it back into freezer mode and it'll be a chest freezer, just like what you think you bought. Okay? So that's really cool. I don't know if they do that in America, but here they do. It's already built in. It should be built into all of them because it's just a temperature setting. It's no big deal. But that's kind of nice. You can get yourself a really cheap chest freezer, and that'll get you by. If you screw up and get too small of a fridge, you can get yourself a chest freezer. They use almost no electricity. You can stick them anywhere, and that'll get you by in a pinch, and also get you a heck of a lot of freezer storage for your ice, for any kind of parties. And when you live in the Philippines, you're going to have parties at your house. That's just the way it is. The Philippine people, they love to party, and they will come over and they will eat all your food, drink all your drinks, and burn up all your karaoke. So get yourself, you're going to need a karaoke machine too. I recommend you don't get one that's too big because you're going to blow your eardrums out and it's going to be really annoying. But back to the ice subject, this is not tube ice. This is just normal ice. Tube ice is ice cubes that you can buy at 7-Eleven and whatnot. You can do that. This is province style ice that you can get from just about any sorry store. Okay, but I recommend use the ice trays. Control your water supply. Control your cleanliness, and only mess with this when it's absolutely necessary. You don't have any other choice, and get yourself one of these. All right, y'all. That's all I got. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me how you're doing. See ya.